Al pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
Hey, how's it going? My name is Rafael Chacinas, known as el Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Nation, because not only we can talk about Raider Nation, but also we can talk about NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, everything in one place, because this podcast is just only for Raider Nation. All the Raider Nation motherfuckers, including all those rivals for the NFL, to the NBA, to the college football, to the college basketball, because it's a go-to show where the culture is the impact of the football and basketball. Make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube, getting really close to 2K subscribers. And of course, make sure to follow El Capitán Rafucho on different social media. Twitter is known as at Capitán Rafucho, on Instagram, Kick, and TikTok at Capitán Rafucho 93. And if you want to help and support the stream, this platform, you can make a donation by PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're wondering, because this is like the first time that we can do like a dual video, because first and foremost, after that, StreamYard has been gone for like every wild reason that we just got into there. And yes, because not only for the first time we can do like something really crazy, because this time we're gonna do from vertical and horizontal for 2 in a row, because I know you understand, because 2 lives in a row, I mean, that sounds crazy about it. That sounds really crazy, y'all. But I just wanted to make sure that it's going to be like a huge experiment so people can really notice. Yep, the people can really notice. All right, so I know what's going to happen for the Nets, for the Las Vegas Raiders. So this is about the late night thoughts that I just wanted to share, like the entire world. And I really thought it's going to bring some special guests, but they're going to happen and like it for late, or I don't know. But I just wanted to make sure about this right now. Because hours ago, on the Twitter side, they have signed linebacker Jermaine Davis to the active roster from the practice squad, and they have placed guard center Jackson Powers-Johnson to reserve injury list. Additionally, we have signed the kicker Greg Joseph to the practice squad. Now, many reasons that I just wanted to talk about, like 2 inclusions, and there was a lot of take it away from these moves, but I just felt like that I have an idea. Maybe our coach getting our own line to block better, or kicker and punter, maybe the guy won't end up with the jitters, but if it goes to like kick on shore, if his line is going to protect him, which means the coach from special teams. And seeing like at a place like a hybrid edge, offensive linebacker during this run for Washington was pretty nice. I mean, I would see with Jermaine Davis from Washington Commanders, known as the Redskins. But to be honest right now, I mean, he could provide the actual pressure to help our lackluster defensive edge in Kuz and Terry out. There is no idea if anywhere is near as good he has to compare to this 2022 season. So they didn't call out for 5 offensive linemen who are in the practice squad to take Jackson Power Johnson's part of the roster. Nope. And they just added 7 linebacker who can also line up for the edge rusher and play special teams. Got to think about Lucky Tassi, Antonio Maffi, or Lennon Robinson will get some week-to-week elevations. But also guess Carson is sufficiently unnoticed and that they adding like an extra kicker into the mix, if you know what that means, right? But adding the kicker is the biggest stand to stand off because Carson, he was on thin ice. After a disaster performance against you know who, the Denver Broncos, it was about the time to see who's really stepping off of the game and who's going to really step it out like maybe not. But to be fair, we are already 9 offensive linebackers. Well, offensive line to the active roster. I mean, most teams, they only carry 8. And we started the season with 10 offensive line to the roster and you couldn't find the play. I mean, come on. Maybe they're thinking a higher about that. And Carson has to compete with his job, but that's the word that absolutely hates a lot. But you know what? They just wanted to keep continue. Well, people hated that it was able to be used by 2 guys with different talent labels. And Pete humbled the PR end of the so to him they can just keep the mouth shut. And JBJ was coming back for the concussion, and Pete simply said he had to compete to prove he was ready to come back and play, and people blew it out of the way, the fuck out of the proportion. They're just telling that Rodgers and Grant are finally to get some snaps. And Carson's not getting resigned after the season, after the end of the season, to be honest right now. Because only Miller, Crosby, and Cole, we would left to the Oakland days, but I don't really think so. I don't really think. Because Carson get too comfortable, stop working so hard at the craft, and it seems like he was taking too chill. He was taking too chill to high him off. It is getting out of here. I mean, what else is going to happen? What else is going to happen? And I thought it would see like more intelligent decisions from the coaching staff, but they continue to have the most head-scratching moves time to time again. And let's give like the rookies playing more time. And Pete is trying to protect this whole time win, lose record or something by forcing bets like Lockett and play more. And we had the absolutely worst franchise in all the sports in developing young talent. To be honest, I mean, what else is going to happen? I mean, there's no solution about that. I mean, after a disaster performance against them Broncos on Thursday, which it really pains me out. It really pains me out, but I just wanted to keep continue. We're getting everything worse. Because I don't know why there's going to maybe like something bad or something new. But we are just like that. We are just like that. Salute to Leo Melendez. Salute to you. Welcome to the chat. And of course, we just want to see like what's going to happen for the next one. We just wanted to see conclusions. We just want to see developing young talent, but not to screw it up. I mean, some people, some players, they have been good since 2022, especially in longer kicks. Longer kicks, and I'm telling you, and that could be the worst season since Minnesota cut him in 2018, but he has turned it down for a couple of years now. And he was just like, is it play good or is it play terrible? Yeah, both of the guys didn't have to be reachable. Maybe he can turn around, especially like at the south end, but he got all the physical traits, but none of the killer instincts. None of them. Just none of them. None of them. Because I understand they just wanted to prove like they have more experiment guys, veteran guys, rookie guys, and somehow it's gonna be like the worst say. It's Alex Kappa Day, but I don't think it's gonna be so much getting worse. And I want to see if Kelly Rogers gets some time. Maybe at the end of the season when the team keeps continuing to suck. And that guy is a huge question mark. It's in the market and the jury to any call. What can I really tell for every reason? And that's why then I just wanted to talk about it. That's why. Because we just keep on sucking. We just wanted to keep on sucking right now. I know you guys can listen to me, can hear it, because I know the camera, because I know that I was like during the vertical and horizontal, well, 2 live streams at the same time, which is very crazy. Just very crazy. So probably they should have about it. Probably. But in somehow, I don't think it's going to be to resolve the issues that we got right now. And I was just like, they're getting worse than that. Really, really worse than that. Because after that performance, they're worse than Brett. And people thought that, oh, they're just boring, but we are worse than that. We continue to compete to suck. Because I could handle losing if the Raiders were losing exciting game like the Bengals or Cowboys are doing. The Raiders have simply have become like pretty much trash, basura, rubbish. That team, though, it was like, man, how can I watch it in all those issues that we just got it? I mean, man, it was inexcusable for Bowers to have only 1 reception last week. And the Raiders had some good players that we had more with a couple of years, at least for the high level, the good persons. I mean, what in the actual fuck? That's just like, we're not that boring. We're not that boring. We just have it like the worst of the worst, of the worst, of the worst. We're just like dumb. Not boring because exciting stuff just happens. Just benefit the other team. We're just exactly like a dumb team. Like a trash team. Yep. And down decisions by personal eye week after week after week. And that's why a lot of persons that just want Mark Davis out of Las Vegas Raiders. And they want to keep the spirit of Al Davis alive. But how? How in the cost? How? It's like, yes, but you keep wins, but the team is going to be really boring. It's like an overall trend in football, very sadly, but I don't think we're just boring. We're just suck. Really, 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 really suck. Because I understand the diehard fans, and most of the fans are continue to like to watch the team. And I know it's very embarrassing after all these disillusions, after all the disappointment, after all those L's that we just got week after week after week after week. And I'm just like, man, are we tired to be a losing team? Because they know it's going to happen after Derek Carr just went out. They know exactly what they're going to throw between Gardner Minshew, Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh McDaniels, Antonio Pierce. To be honest right now, it's just like, man, are we just worse than that? We need to start with the head coach that is used culture and respect, appreciation with accountability. Why is Mike Vrabel successful in New England? Because after Bill Belichick wants to get out and wants to prove as a college football coach in North Carolina, you know what happens next? It's because he values all the players. Sees their strange weakness and wants everyone to maximize their potential. And we also need to move away from complicated offense schemes and misutilization of players. Also, we need to invest in going all out in defense and all that. Because for Shea Harris in the road of the head coach, it became like disarray. It became the worst. It became like just the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst at all. And I was just like, man, this seems like really unwashable. Really unwashable that everybody seems like it's like the same shit over and over and over again. I mean, that was like, man, we had to change it at all. The last hire descended the record for the oldest hire ever. It's just like Raider Ball at this point. And the Nightmares time where they let Rich Biscaccia go. That was really painful. And it feels like no one has it in the direction which side of the ball and they want to focus on. And I think that Aston Gent is a good player, but for Pick, we had to get a few picks to start a rebuild. To start a rebuild, ladies and gentlemen. And I just wanted to keep on going. And we want a full rebuild on that team. That's exactly what we needed to do. That's exactly what we needed to do. Just like that. Just like that. And I was like, man, if we had enough gods, then we had to do really something about it. Hey, how's it going, Mike? Salute my guy, Rafa. Salute to one of the creators of the Black Team broadcast, along with Raiders IQ and Raider Trey. Salute to you. And of course, we got Chews, Raider Coverage. What's up? Salute to you, Chewy. Also, I just wanted to tell you, salute to all the content creators who provides a lot of great content in the Raiders world. No matter if we lose, win, or tie, we're still representing Raider Nation to the day I die. And yes, because I know that it feels like there's no direction at all. And that's the only part that I was getting really mad. And from the beginning of the season, people expecting like 10 plus wins that we were dreaming about it. And we will say that Pete Carroll's compete to the excellence could be something bigger. But as a matter of fact, the compete to incompete, it just seems like really, really, really worst. At all. Just became the worst at all. Because I wouldn't have expected the team, but at least like to be fun to watch. But I expected to conversations along the lines and say, hey, they're on the good right now, but there's something going anywhere. Instead, we're firing one coach and maybe firing others at the end of the season, almost ready to back for the square one. And that should be like a wake-up call. That should be. That should be like a wake-up call for everybody. Everybody. Everybody at all. Because they were sitting right here because we are in the number 6 of the draft 2026 on Pittsburgh. And we are 3 plays away from being like 5-4 of the way. Just thought that everybody see that they need to fight Pete Carroll and blow it off a trainer and wanted a war. Everyone just should like, okay, chill. We're block a field goal, the missed pad, the penalty away from being in the 7th seed. It doesn't make like any better at the team. We're lost to except Washington is over 500 and currently has his playoff spots. Everybody is thinking about it. Say, hey, playoffs. Oh my goodness. Hey, how's it going, Afakazi Raider? Hey, Rafa, hope you're well, man. Just finished at the gym. Oh, so you can be ready. So my brother Afakazi is going to be ready for the draft 2026. Look out, because we're going to bring a new Raider, Afakazi Raider, the brand new draft of 2026, including Sid Solar. Yeah, I can play like cornerback, but Afakazi Raider, he has great speed. He has a great mentality. I mean, I know that I have great mentality, but salute to Afakazi, Sid Solar, the Raider critique. Wayside Media is known as Yeah, because I just put like on the chat if you want to come in, but I'm not that really sure because this is a late night thoughts. Yeah, this is a late night thoughts, and I just wanted to talk about like every reason about what's going to happen for the Raiders. What's going to happen for the Nets? What is going to happen for the Nets? Because last time I was really thinking, it's just getting really started. But I would have just something like a few, just like one question. All right. So once the season is getting really over, between for like 2025, 2026 NFL season, should the Raiders keep Pete Carroll or go with a different option? Because They would love to see like a young facing coach. I mean, for example, Clint Kubiak is a great option to consider to how he helped the Seahawks became a top 10 offense with you know who, Sam Darnold, who became part of the New York Jets and Carolina Panthers. Yep, he was like a bridge quarterback. Because to be honest, right now, we're the Raiders and we have no directions what we gonna do about it. We have no directions because we still stuck at the top spot because firing Pete Carroll after 1 year after firing Antonio Pierce and Josh McDaniels as now as Judge McDonald's after 2 years will probably still least desirable spot for any top coaching candidate. Would it would also to hear the bright young offensive mind with a young quarterback to believe in. The best possible is Pete Carroll or Mike Jackson from Golden State. Set up the table and be like sacrificial lamb from the guy that takes that over the hump. That should be happen? I don't really think so. Because it could be like a myth, but they cannot hire good talent. Other shitty teams have been able to hire talent staff and turn things around. For example, Detroit Lions. And they're not replacing Carroll because dipshit Davis just bringing in for another head coach with another team would hire that will be the same shit again. It's just like repeat and rinse. It is actually, it's not a myth, but Detroit is like an example. You guys remember Dan Campbell? He played for the Lions and they liked him. He wanted to turn things around. Also, he had a really shitty first season with them. P has been only the coach that show off that he really cares and at least to put in an effort to help turn things around. Other hires for us was basically chasing a paycheck. The other candidates we interviewed during the process has basically used us as a leverage. That I was like, man, this cannot be happen so much. But I will tell you for this right now. Say that we hire like a 74-year-old Pete Carroll just because we couldn't get raw prospects. It's just like the defense attitude. And I don't want it to bother you at all. Check out for another example. The New Orleans Saints brought in a pair of general managers, 13s, and won a Super Bowl. There are lots of examples of teams turning things around. And people that are making like some excuses and they need to stop it. They need to stop it. I mean, they really stopped making excuses for Mark Davis. I'd rather say, look, I understand there's a lot of persons who wants Pete Carroll and Mark Davis out of Las Vegas. That I was like, man, is this really happening? Is this really happening right now? Because why do coaches not to touch this organization? Because we really let them develop their culture and the players. And the new coach inherits 80% of the roster that doesn't even fit their scripts and other teams that can rebuild. Do we really want 19 coaches since John Madden and by Peter let go? I'm kind of tired of watching that fucking insanity. And I was like really trained up. And to be honest right now, I don't want it to see like Josh McDaniels. And I'm glad that Josh McDaniels gets really fired. But I wasn't gonna like to bash our team because I know he failed, including Antonio Pierce. But when the guys in the locker room quit on the coach, it's hard not to raise pitchforks with him though. Partially, some of those persons are really high on Pete when he joined. But they had thought he'd ship anyone that wasn't bothered. But I feel like he's been defending guys that more laying the hammer. Just get a hold of the vest, but they're pretty exhausted watching like a coaching carousel. I mean, it just can't happen a lot. But to be honest, right now, I think one season with the Raiders might be enough to call them the quits, but I don't really think so. But what's going to happen with Mark Davis? What's going to happen to Mark Davis? Isn't going to like after the right people. It's that simple. They need to hire it out like EVP, executive vice president, and turn it over if they go to him to get one of these select coaches. Regarding Pete Carroll, because I know he's old, he's 74-year-old trying to turn around the symbolic shambolic organization, which is like between a combination of symbolic and shame. He cannot do it. He's over his head. There needs to think a tank. By the way, when it comes to the step-by-step line, the timeline, how they're going to fit the organization. You cannot hire a coach in golden years that will be thinking enough. Just like, man, I don't know, because it's not that really good. It's not like a highest project. And they're hiring an outside firm to assist a hiring coach post-Gruden. And they recommend, ladies and gentlemen, Josh McDaniels. And a lot of persons, they still believe you. But let me tell you for this right now. The problem wasn't around for Derek Carr. The problem was the coaching and the scheme. Because they being honest whether they get something. Because what I don't get is other teams are having top shell coaches like the guy from Detroit, Dan Campbell. They wouldn't keep hiring cast off as it's been retreats or MF'ing goes crazy because it's the right way, whatever that means. Until we're doing like winner organizations, nothing will change at all. I know there's a lot of persons who wants to hype it all because I know it's the right way. And remember this, guys, because if you guys remember like over 2 seasons before, because I just ran it in for Antonio Pierce as an interim head coach. And then for the 2024, Antonio Pierce, he became the head coach that hired him. And you know what has happened? All those persons, they just wanted to hype it up for Antonio Pierce because he's the man who can lead the charge right now. He only smokes cigars and is going to hanging around with his fellas and he's dry as an Impala. But the reality is Antonio Pierce didn't have the guts to coach a team which is definitely hurt. Yep. And it really happens a lot with a lot of coaches with the first year. It doesn't seem like really, really good. Because we all know the pain and the thoughts are rolled too well. Because Pete knows how to treat him. He knows how the different players to respond different ways to treat him. He knows that the military approach is going to turn players against him, and that's the last thing that he wants. If we're not going to trust to Pete to go through the process, it will take like 2 or 3 seasons. Then we just keep hiring and firing head coaches and already know what it leads to. And it's not that really good, ladies and gentlemen. Not that really good. But I don't think it's going to be like a really surprise at all. Just like that. Just like that. But you guys remember like all the golden years when John Gruden was there as a coach for Las Vegas Raiders, Oakland Raiders, and turned things out. And then that was just like, man, that was like a great moment that he put a lot of discipline. And of course, he knows about the chunky mentality. Yep, the chunky mentality that we always remember. We always remember. And what about like the expectations? Because it seems like coaches and quarterbacks are definitely the goods, but I don't think in that coaching style of Pete Carroll and of course the quarterback Geno Smith, I don't know who's gonna be really stuck. And I don't know what's gonna happen for the next year or the before. Because to seem to be really honest, Las Vegas Raiders are retiring home for quarterbacks. And if you look at an organization beyond a single year, it became a lot of worse. Because we didn't go to sign him for the first contract, but there's concerns about the motivation to spend time for the film room and playbook. And here we are, 5 years later, and they're still lazy. And we're talking about Geno Smith. And then now deny their salary, but is now willing to put at the work to take the next step for the most franchise quarterbacks they do. And somehow they completely match it up with the playing poorly, which is definitely really worst. Definitely worst at all. It seems like they're failing. They're failing around. They're failing. But besides for that, here's another thing, which is like, well, probably just look at one positive thing. Because, about for the performance that we got against Denver Broncos, our defense played like at a light level on Thursday night. Aside for one early touchdown, the drive, and field goal where it came like a blank punt, they really show up they can compete with anyone in the league. If we add some pieces in the offseason, Crosby and the defense could have whatever it takes to carry away to the championship. And they know exactly what they wanted to do. It's going to be like something that we will never forget. And how good is the Broncos with Von Miller, Ponte Miller, got away all the Super Bowl. Gino or not, it wouldn't matter who quarterback is. It wouldn't going forward, but the consistency is now the key. But that defense set a new standard that was going to happen for the next few games. That I was like, man, how are we going to get this right now? I mean, how are we going to do this right now? But, it just really happened a lot. Really, really, really happened a lot. But it seems like really happened for a lot. And speaking about like the coaching and the motivation, I was talking about like Antonio Pierce and Josh McDaniels, because I just wanted to be clear. I don't really think that, picture like going out for the position, but it seems like that he and Antonio Pierce had some things in common. Culture guys that look dragged down by poor roster construction and string heritage decisions. Chip Kelly and look gets it. Plus, Antonio Pierce bringing in Marvin Lewis. They got me wondering, why the consensus had to be like Antonio Pierce, a rookie head coach, should have gotten more time to develop, all those things. Because the difference of the situations, obviously, they'll think they have the same level of coach. Because between for the coaches, they're actually what's different about like the situation, since it goes differently. Because one has proved success. The other doesn't have, like did not, right now, who wears Kansas City Chiefs gear. And I'm not kidding about that, folks. Not kidding. Because to be honest right now, Antonio Pierce rocking with the Washington Commanders and the Kansas City Chiefs gear, that seems like a betrayal. That seems what Judas did to Jesus. Yeah, and I read it all about for the Bible. You know what Judas take to Jesus? The betrayal. Yep, the betrayal. And between for the Lakers lineup coming up there, Antonio Pierce preached violence and ill intent. And then by the week 3 last year, he had to call out his hand-picking corner by making business decisions. And that was Antonio Pierce in a nutshell. A lot of talk, not a lot of follow through, but Peeling here at the worst roster than AP. But he's getting performers out of the Jacksonville Jaguars in defense. And then Antonio Pierce got out of the players who send big money contracts and sales. Because that roster is really worse because of the decision that Pete, in spite of made regards and letting free agency walk and replacing with the worst players. That was just like, man. Hey, how's it going? For Life R-Rated Story. Salute to you. Hi, Rafa. Make sure to subscribe to For Life R-Rated Story, because I know I was there, watching the live on Monday, but I didn't have the opportunity to pull out for the link. So probably next Monday or probably next Thursday, because next Monday is the next Monday night football between Las Vegas Raiders versus Dallas Cowboys. That's known as Dallas Cowgirls. And to talk about it, it was like the part of the rebuilding process. For much as the people hammer up, but it's not a rebuilding and yada yada, blah blah blah. The rest of the moves are different. Also, my world today traded for a quarterback, but they need it. They needed to see what we have with the offensive skill players, and they took relative to low risk and watch cost with a proven quarterback. It a miss. It shit happens. It happens all around for the time. It really happens because they didn't show up really much. He had no pedigree on lane what Pete does. Over the offseason, he seemed like the target with a big, nasty, mean Raiders team was coming. On game day, they looked like a scared puppy. Basically, Pete Ayers had a benefit of the doubt. Antonio Pierce did it. He did it. Because the difference of situation that I'm getting, the fans seems like to feel Pete, the oldest head coach in league history. They should have had a chance to feel his mistakes, which is fine. And I'm wondering, one thing again about that for Antonio Pierce, who can be argued, they should have more of a chance to learn since they had no experience. The position coach think, and I was talking about like Dan Campbell for the Detroit Lions, was a tight end coach before even the top head coach in the league. He finished 3 wins, 13 losses, and 1 tie for the first season. Even Pete was since 10 for the first season as a head coach. It really happens a lot, but it's something that experience means nothing without results. We have at least one game with high passing, high run, high defense that says meaningful that can be done. When we don't have the consistency, and that's what coaching is. For those saying this is gonna be like a rebuild, they don't know what the fucking rebuild is. For example, Tennessee Titans have a rebuilding during 2016 to 2020. 5 years as a rebuild match because that's the end of the impact first round contract. And we are a year or two of ours with the same record with the coaching staff with the same last year, and they were fired. Here's reason next year we got into looking worse, not because of the talent, because of coaching. Coaching. Bean hasn't been able to Super Bowl around for a decade. Hasn't been like a divisional in 6 years. If they wanted to be honest, he failed to see Hawks switch with their fire him. And after 2 seasons of not making a wild card, he seems like open-minded for the pressures, so sure they could keep him. But he hasn't fired Canley with this bullshit low management of linear or scrum schemes. That means that I will fire Pete with going to talk about the Sun with offensive line producing far less than a year of results. And it's not that really good. Not that really happening. Just like that. Just like that. And I know that I have 40 minutes to speak because I thought that I could handle with special guests as known as the Raider Critique, Wayside Media as known as Earn of a Caserator or maybe on to say it's older. But sadly, it was like a no call in the show. But I'm trying to re-engage for the next week when it comes to Raiders versus Cowboys. I know it's a hate week, but I'm just trying to do like everything better. And sometimes I know it really sucks to talk all alone, but you know what? I can handle with the situation coming out there because I understand that in many live streams I can do by myself because I know that I create live streams, I create thumbnails, I just create like a soundboard, like editing videos. It really sucks, but I had to do all by myself because I don't blame for those persons because I know some of those persons are sleeping or they're just really like getting busy with all those works, with those jobs. I actually get it. Because I know the difference between for like the time zone and to live stream something about like a late night reaction. I mean, it's complicated, but it happens because that's what really happened. Because I know that I'm really struggling a lot, and to be honest, I'm still doing it at all. I'm still doing it, and I know there is another topic that I just wanted to talk about it because I know it's like the future coming out there for the content creators. And I know that a lot of persons that just wanted to, well, to mock about me, to criticize about me, that I'm not the real Raider fan, that I'm not like a, I don't know, not a diehard. But check this out, folks. I'm just like casual fan, not only for the Raiders, but also for the basketball and college football, because I know that I'm wearing this Black Sunday. Look, I'm wearing the T-shirt of We Raider. Shout out to Kukui and of course Baker Raider Dads to provide this amazing T-shirt of We Raider. Make sure to subscribe to We Raider, because I know that I support a lot of persons who actually understands a lot of the game. I mean, take it for example. There's my brothers, Raider Joe of Akasi Raider, Anti-Seed Soldier, the Raider Critique, Western Media is known as Earned. They know exactly, because they speak from the bottom of the heart. So they have a lot of balls to say the truth, because truth hurts, motherfuckers. Truth hurts. And a lot of persons doesn't want it to see the truth because they don't really understand it. They're scaring away from the truth that speak itself from today. I don't know why those persons are run away from the truth, but the truth will always prevail. They will always prevail. And of course, there's like some of the important content creators that it became something like inspirational for me. There's like OG Jack Daniels, OG Daniel, Captain Jack. Also, there is the Philly Sports Guy, Backdot Sports, G Nation Inside Sports. Also, there's ECG, as known as East Coast Wine Aaron, Mitch Kolsky. Also, there's Philly Halftime. Also, there's Tony for Stadium Junkies. Also, there is Key in the Building, Coach Ed, Coach Dante, Spotlight Raiders Talk. Man, I mean, I just can't get really enough for like all of these amazing content creators. They deserve a lot of respect. They deserve a lot of respect. And to be honest, like I said it before, to all the people who's watching it, do not fall for that clickbait shit. Don't. Because that clickbait shit, it's really toxic. It's really toxic. It'll really poison your mind. Because if you fell for the clickbait shit, you're done. You consume junk food. You consume all the toxic waste. Because that clickbait shit is basura. It's toxic. It's really dangerous for the health. Because if you wanted to see the truth, if you wanted to see investigation, if you wanted to see real talk, raw, and with honest, you can do what would listen. Because if you had to investigate several topics that you need to understand it, not only to provide a preview, but also a review, and of course, talking about topics that really needs for the people, really needs. Not one of those kinds of brain rot and clickbait shit, because that is not. And I just wanted to stay away from the clickbait shit because they always became like really toxic at all. They just became really toxic. Yep. Hey, how's it going? I'm not Brian to say brain rot. Roy Pena to say bueno, my brother. Also salute to Roy Pena to say Rafa, salute to you. Salute to you. But I understand that there is a lot of content creators that became something of my inspiration. Also, there's Dirty, Lunatic Raider. Also, there's Raider Twan. Yeah, Raider Twan, always with the blessings. Another Raider Nate, Raider Band, who always provide the best play-by-play in every Sunday where the Raiders are playing. Well, different Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays. Well, we all get it. We all get it right now. Hey, how's it going? Salute, Raul. Y'all smash the like button, like, subscribe, and share the Capitán. Here it is, another comment by the Man K Podcast. And to be honest, right now, I really appreciate that a lot of persons, they have great sense to watching all this content. Because I know that even though that I look ugly, even though that some of my live streams are really trash, some of them really garbage because I don't have like those skills, but the truth is, because I know that I'm a graduated journalist, I know that I have enough skills to prove myself who I really am, to create something new, to experiment something new, and of course, to learn some knowledge for these young fellas to get into the content creation. And I'm just trying to be a good person, a good man, a good gentleman. Good gentleman. Even though that I speak both languages, which is English and Spanish, you can never doubt about me. You can never erase the power, the legacy, the mentality that I just got here in my head. So I just wanted to tell like all those motherfuckers who are watching it, all those haters that have been lurking all over the live streams, I just wanted to tell you, look at my finger right now. Just go fuck yourself, haters and trolls, because you can never stop me, bitch. You can never stop me. Because I know that I had a platform to talk about the truth, not the clickbait shit, to talk raw, honest truth, in my opinion, in my brain, in my heart, in my soul, what I just saw, what I just see, what I just hear, what I just feel. And that's the motherfucking gospel. Cheers for that, Ralph. Cheers for that. Yes. I'm not ready to say, Ralph, you had candy picking hands, bro. Well, probably because I don't know if you guys seen like the video that I was practicing around for the draft and people really like it, because I know that I have like not that soft hands, but I just got good hands to catch football, catch all the basketball, because I know that I have like to throw hands just like whoosh, just like this, because the accuracy is a key. And I can teach Geno Smith how to throw a fucking ball. I can teach Geno Smith how to throw a fucking ball, because you know what? If Geno Smith wasn't there, then probably they should with Kenny Pickett. Probably Kenny Pickett. But I understand what the people want to salute, like all the time with the receiver, the quarterback. Yeah, but that's the only thing that just happened. All right. So I know I got 15 minutes of speaking. So I know that y'all let to breathe right now. So I just wanted to tell you one last thing that I just wanted to talk about it. I know that it's supposed to be like a special episode along with special guests like the Reddit Critique, Wayside Earn, Afakasi, Auntie Sid Soldier, but they're getting really busy, so it was like no call, no show. But you know what? I just wanted to tell you, I understand that I look ugly. I understand that my live streams are not really good, but I'm trying to be my best. I'm trying to be my best and not shutting my mouth because I had a voice on this platform to speak what's going to happen in my mind. What's going to happen in my mind? What in the actual fuck are the Raiders are doing? Because I understand over those days, over those months, over those weeks, all after all these years, that organization, Las Vegas Raiders, became a huge disaster. A huge trash that it needs to change sooner or later. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. And I'm not like a perfect guy because I know that I have a lot of imperfections, but that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop me for a while. That doesn't stop me. And I know that I have a special condition that doesn't really stop it at all. And all the people that say, oh, Rafa got autism, or Rafa is just like a retard or something like that, or he's just like a fucking faggot. My apologies, because I know that I use the F word, but the truth is, I'm just a gentleman. Just a good gentleman to not to give a single fuck with all the haters. I just wanted to tell you, haters and trolls, go fuckers. I know the microphone is still working it all, but I'm not leaving, bitches. I'm not leaving, motherfuckers, because I'm still here providing my voice to the community. To the community, and that doesn't really stop, because I know that I create the Spanish play-by-play. I create some live streams that really involves engage for the people, and I create something brand new that the people really watch it. I know that sometimes I can talk about myself, but it is right. It is right. It is right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to tell you that I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here, and this has been like another episode of Straight Outta Nation, because this is the late night thoughts. What's going to be the next for the Raiders? Talking about the coaching, the system, the moving trades, and of course, what happened between the Denver Broncos versus Las Vegas Raiders. And I understand that Monday, it became the hate week. Las Vegas Raiders versus Dallas Cowboys, as known as the Dallas Cowgirls. And to be honest right now, I'm feeling it right now. Because no matter if we win, lose, or tie, I'm still representing the Raider Nation. To the day I die, hate it or love it, motherfuckers. Because and I know that my microphone is still not working at all, but it doesn't really stop me for a while. That doesn't really stop me. And here's the last thing, because I know that I'm going to leave it right now. Salute all the veterans and troops around for this day, because in November 11, we salute to all the veterans on those days. Salute all those veterans who are here to serve and protect this country, this beautiful country as known as the United States of America. God bless USA. God bless America. God bless our troops. God bless our veterans, because our veterans are a national treasure. It is not going to be used as a political tool. These are a national treasure, and they deserve dignity and respect. Salute to the veterans in this day. Salute to the veterans, to the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, all those veterans who fought with their heart and soul and a lot of balls to protect the United States of America. Because this is America. Fuck yeah. I just wanted to tell you, have a great night, folks. Have a great Veterans Day. And make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. Also, you can follow me on different social media, as known as Twitter, as known as X, at Capitán Rafucho, on Instagram, TikTok, and Kick at Capitán Rafucho 93. And if you wanted to make a donation to help and support the stream, you can make it on PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. So, anyway, folks, I'm getting out of here, and here's another thing because I know that I have a long speech coming up there. This week, I'm going to provide some NBA games, NFL games, and of course, the Combat Club with my co-host Zion Senate to talk about the UFC 322 between Islam Makhachev versus Jacques Della Maddalena. There's going to be so much epic, including the watch party of the UFC 322. But this is going to be really, really good. And thank you to all the chat right here. Leo Melendez for a lot of Raider story. Raiders Young Yonder. Alfacasi Raider. Also, I'm Not Bueno. Roy Pena. The Man Cave Podcast. Chewy Raider coverage. And my brother Mike. So thank you very much. And I hope to see you there next time on the next episode of Straight Outta Nation, because it's all about the Raider Nation for the die-hard fans, including for the NFL rivals, NBA, college football, and college basketball. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you there next time. We're going to come off for the outro because we're out of here, motherfucker.